Hey friends, it's Neil here from Post to Post. Hope you guys are having a great day. You want to know who's not having a great day? Kind of all of us, actually. Honestly, it's been a absolutely crazy past week and a half, 10 days, whatever it's been. And the Arizona Coyotes, their fans from around the league, executive, board members, everyone has been talking about this. And it's just really sad, honestly. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are aware of the current situation with the Arizona Coyotes. Pending announcement to be moved to Utah, Salt Lake City. But in case you're not, let's very quickly kind of run through this timeline a little bit. I do have some notes off to my right here, or just off on this monitor, so I apologize for looking down every once in a while. So there have been arena issues with Arizona for years and years and years and years. And it's always been a frustration, and it's always been at the back of mind for every Coyotes fan. We've gone through so many possible plans, getting your hopes up, then falling through. Another plan comes up. You see concepts, you see renderings, you see ideas, plans put forth, and votes and everything. And it's just constant disappointment for years. So much so to the point where the Coyotes were not paying their bills. And that extends even beyond arena stuff to hotels. And that's a whole nother pit we can go down. But they have been playing in essentially a non-NHL arena for the last year, which has been a bit of a joke in the NHL. Regardless if it was a good hockey experience or not, it's not been a good look for the NHL or the Coyotes. So point number one is arena issues for years. In the past 3 years, we'll say 2021, more so 2022 and 2023, there's been a very big push by the Coyotes and by the NHL to get this team proper land, a proper arena for a prosperous and long-term future for hockey in the desert, in Arizona. Whether that's in Tempe, Phoenix, Glendale, whatever, figure it out and make sure that we have something secure here moving into the future. There was a public kind of deadline. There was a loose one last year which fell through, which I believe was the vote in Tempe. And then there was kind of an additional backup deadline by the NHL, which was around June of this year. There was a land auction, I believe. Now, I don't actually know if that's the NHL's concrete deadline, but that was kind of the direction or decision behind the scenes, that June would be a pretty telltale sign of the concrete future for this team. What we didn't know is that at the end of last year, the beginning of this year, there was a hidden deadline of January 1st. So publicly, we're all waiting for June to see how the land auction went, if Alex Morello, who's the owner, can bid on some land, get and get a concrete plan in place. But that hidden deadline of January 1st did exist, and no one knew about it, except for obviously the NHL, maybe some board members, and obviously Alex Morello. We're going to circle back to that deadline here in a second, but because I just want to quickly talk about the, past year, maybe a little bit more than a year of the Arizona Coyotes, public interaction, specifically on Twitter. They have gone after basically everyone who criticized them. They've come out with memes and false plans and renderings of future arenas, and they've almost made like satire posts, kind of like memeing on themselves and almost like mocking themselves in a way, I guess. It came across kind of funny at the beginning, and then very quickly went to unprofessional. And then it became like kind of a running joke. And now it's like, well, karma really, right? So what we don't know is, was that a decision from a marketing perspective from the marketing team, directly from Alex Morello? Was it them just trying to be funny and just trying to, take a different approach basically, and trying to be a little bit more edgy? I don't know where that direction came from. I don't think it was received well publicly the longer that it went on. It was okay for, a couple of posts and maybe a couple of weeks. But after that, it wasn't a very good look for the Coyotes. So again, not sure where that direction came from, but I kind of do appreciate the approach to that because they did kind of have fun with it, even though it did get old after a while. Let's circle back to that deadline, January 1st. So Gary Bettman and the NHL essentially met with Alex Morello, and that happened behind closed doors. It was a very private meeting. We did not know about it. And that was the actual deadline, and essentially Gary Bettman told Alex Morello, you're gone. We're going to buy the team. Let's start working on a plan. You've had all your chances, so you're out. And that's what's been happening behind the scenes for the past 4 months, almost 5 months now. There was so many behind the scenes conversations that it was never going to stay secret for long. So initially, not very many people knew, and then over time, into February, into March, more people started to know, and it got leaked around, and then eventually everyone knows. So they are in a position where there's essentially a gag order over Alex Morello and the entire team until this gets finalized out of the court system. That's why the Arizona Coyotes Twitter has not tweeted anything, even during games, warm-ups, nothing from Alex Morello. Everything is in a gag order. You can blame Alex, you can blame Gary Bettman, the NHL. It doesn't really matter. It's a bad look either way, regardless of who you want to blame. So essentially, behind the scenes, Gary Bettman and Alex Morello, or the NHL and Alex Morello, we're trying to come up with a plan and a financial decision to remove the team from him and move them. It was decided that Salt Lake City, or Utah specifically, was the location that it was going to go to. We know that now. And Alex Morello will be getting $1 billion for the team. And the NHL will be buying the team and then reselling it to the Smith family for, I think it's 1.2 or 1.3 million. I think it was actually 1.2. And then that extra 2 million will actually be gifted as kind of an expansion relocation fee, essentially, to the rest of the team. So 200 divided by 32, whatever that is. So that's where that other extra 200 million is going. And with that said, none of this has been officially announced yet. So I suspect, I'm filming this on a Tuesday, you'll see this on a Tuesday, I suspect we'll likely see the public announcement for this likely as early as Thursday, but possibly into Friday. So we'll obviously wait for that, but we know everything. Well, not everything. We don't know the exact specific details of some of the rights and whatnot. We know some of it, but not every single detail. We're still waiting on that. But by the sounds of it, Alex Morello will retain the rights to the Arizona Coyotes, or the Coyotes name specifically, and he will have the option to engage in an expansion bid, a guaranteed expansion bid in the next 5 years, pending land, arena, development, board of directors vote, all that stuff. So he has 5 years basically to figure it out. And that's fine. I think it's just, it needs done. This needed done 10 years ago. But it's just finally we actually have something in motion. So that means the actual roster, the management, essentially everything that doesn't have a Coyotes face, branding-wise, is going to Utah. So the team isn't going to be called the Salt Lake City Coyotes. It's not going to happen. They're not going to be called the Utah Coyotes. I suspect we will get information sooner rather than later on a potential team name, probably, I don't know, within the next maybe 2-3 months, 2 to 4 months, I would say. They're going to have to make decisions pretty quick. You have to go through branding, licensing, copywriting, all that stuff. It's going to happen pretty quick. So we're going to know eventually. But if you maybe don't follow the NHL, potential new cities expansion or whatever, there's all kinds of possible cities: Quebec, Houston, Kansas City, Salt Lake City. And we held a contest, I don't know, 5 months ago or something like that, specifically when stuff was really starting to kind of go down for the Arizona Coyotes. And by we, I guess I mean me, made the decision that, you know what, Salt Lake City is going to be the team officially. And at the time, obviously, I didn't know how serious that was. But we had a contest where people were able to rebrand the Coyotes as a relocation to Salt Lake City. So we've already lived out this scenario 5 months ago from a branding perspective. That video is still on the channel. If you want to go see that and see the wonderful work of the designers in the community, jerseys, logos, everything, like the names of teams, like logic behind it as well. It's a really good video, not because I made it, not because it's post to post, but because the community has engaged in a situation that was a possibility then that is now our reality. I will link it down below in the description. And if you decide to go watch it, I really appreciate that. Thank you. So that brings us back into this entire thing. Who is the winners and who are the losers? Well, I think we as fans, not Coyotes fans, just hockey fans, we are winners and losers. What I mean by that is that we are winners in the sense that this is finally going to get solved. We're done listening to the Arizona Coyotes nonsense of arenas and what's going to happen, whatever. It's been decades of this. So it's finally getting solved. Finally. So we are winners in that sense. But we're more so losers. Hockey shouldn't fail in any state or any area of North America or anywhere in the world. We want hockey to prosper. It doesn't matter if it's in Florida and it's hot and there's palm trees and there's beaches and stuff. Hockey thrives there. California, same thing. Vegas, same thing. It can thrive in the desert. But we don't want hockey to fail. We're not rooting against Arizona. We never were. We were rooting for a solution to finally take place. We were just tired of it. We were tired of it. So we are losers in the sense that we get to lose a wonderful history in the Arizona Coyotes. They were not a successful team. They were not a profitable team, but they had an amazing roster over the years, some incredible new prospects that have come into the league, like Austin Matthews, that never would have existed and gotten to hockey if it wasn't for the Coyotes. We have some amazing branding, logos, jerseys, colors, all of that good stuff. We're never going to forget that stuff. We're always going to remember it. I mean, I'm wearing it right here. I'm wearing it right here. I've got it on my head. I've got it on my chest. And that's going to live forever. And maybe someday we'll get the Arizona Coyotes back, sans Alex Morello, without him. But there's so much up in the air. It's not even a consideration at this point. We're thinking forward into Utah, into Salt Lake City. What's going to happen there? So we're losers because hockey failed in the desert, but we're winners because it's finally going to get settled. Well, who else is the winners and who else is the losers? Well, Alex Morello publicly loses because he looks like an idiot. He lied to his staff, potentially his executives, the fans, the roster, everyone, essentially. He lied to everyone because he knew January 1st that it was a failed endeavor. But he kept, promoting that it was going to happen and that he was going to buy the land here and there was votes happening and all this stuff. All lies. All of it lies. We were sold BS. So publicly, he looks like a donkey. He looks like a pleb. He looks like a giant bollock. He doesn't look good. But financially, Alex Morello has walked away with a significant profit on the team compared to what he bought it for from the NHL. So financially, he's doing pretty good. Publicly, not so much, but he's rich. He doesn't care what people think of him. So who else is a winner and who else is a loser? Everyone else is a loser. If you're a player, you lose big time. Not only just the player, but their families. And I think that's the biggest issue for me. That's the thing that's top of mind more importantly than anything else. Yeah, it's sad we're going to lose the Coyotes name and the jerseys and the logo and stuff. But when you move your family to the area to work for the team or play for the team, you buy a house, you have your kids in school. Maybe they've been in school for 10 years now. They've got their own friend group and they're 12 years old. And now that you've got to move them to Utah, they lose their entire friend group. They have to go to a new school, make new friends. Maybe their wife has their own friend group, obviously there. They have to leave those, make new friends in Salt Lake City. And obviously the players' wives and stuff are all friends, but they're not going to be completely alone. But still, it's not just uprooting a team, it's uprooting families. So many families. So if you think about the actual amount of people that are involved in this move, it's significant. So I feel bad more so for the players, the families, the staff that's going to have to move as well, more than anything else. The fans themselves, they're also losers. There's nothing that they win here. They, for the first time, concretely and objectively look at this team coming up and be like, listen, in the past we kind of told ourselves that, things are looking pretty good because we wanted to feel better about it and we were hopeful. But right now, it is that time. This team is objectively looking so good for the future. Next year, the year after, and the year after that, and on into the future. Amazing draft picks. The team's being built properly. They're showing so much promise. It's going to be a good team. And this is the time that they're going to leave? If I'm a Coyotes fan, I'm so upset. I'm full of despair as a Coyotes fan if I were one. So I'm really disappointed that the good people are the ones that have to suffer. Alex Morello should be suffering, and he's not. He's walking away with millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's just really, really unfortunate that the fans, the players, the families have to suffer. And it's a really bad situation kind of for everyone except for Alex Morello. Because again, publicly, he doesn't care what people think of him. So there's a part of me that is, I'll just let you know, there is a part of me that is excited to see what happens in Utah or what happens in Salt Lake City. Because if you follow the channel, we talk a lot about branding here, marketing, logos, jerseys, and all that stuff. This is a very unique opportunity in the sports world to see a new hockey team come in. think about the last teams that came into the NHL. Well, you won't have to think too long because there's the Seattle Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights. We know those. Think before that. What was the last team that came in the NHL? It would be the Winnipeg Jets, who moved from Atlanta. But that wasn't really that big of a deal because the Winnipeg Jets moved there before, or existed before, rather. So predate that. Keep going back, okay? Well, we got to go all the way back to what? Was it Columbus and Carolina and Nashville and whatever, you know, during that kind of expansion. So we're going back 20 plus years, essentially, minus Seattle and Vegas, obviously, but it's a rare thing to kind of happen in the NHL, and only as of recently is it more common. So I am, I guess, a little selfishly looking forward to seeing what happens with the Utah branding of the team name and stuff. I mean, that's why that contest existed 5 months ago, because that's what I like. So I would rather leave any of that for hockey to be successful in Arizona, in Phoenix, in Tempe, wherever. Keep it in the desert, make it successful. I'll drop any of kind of selfish love that I have for new branding and new teams and logos and names and stuff. That stuff is insignificant. I would much rather have successful hockey in the desert. So now we wait. We play the waiting game for two big monumental things. Number one, the official announcement and more details regarding this entire thing. And number two, which will likely happen months from now, is the public announcement of branding, team name. Is it going to be the Utah whatever, insert name, or the Salt Lake City, insert name? Well, wait, jerseys, logos, all that's coming. Two monumental, what? That's not a word. Monumental dates coming up in the next, five or so months. So it's a very difficult, but kind of like exciting slash like just, you can finally like breathe, like, it's almost a sigh of relief that it's finally over. So I feel bad, so bad for Arizona fans, and I think they, like, I talked to some, and they just want it done. Like they're as tired of it as everyone else. Like, as sad as they are to see the team go, as heartbreaking as it is, they just want it done. They just are so tired of it. So this is where we are. It's where we are. So let me know down below in the comment section, how do you feel about this? If you're a Coyotes fan, feel free to leave some stories down below in the comment section. How long have you been a Coyotes fan? Do you live in the area? Have you had season tickets? What are some of your best memories? Would love to have that bit of time capsule in the comment section here on this video. And if you're a fan of another team, let me know how you feel. Are you excited about this? Are you disappointed? Yeah, I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts. So if you're new and you like conversations like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because obviously we'll be talking about this news moving forward once more things are announced. And if you like hockey in general, feel free to join the channel, hit the subscribe button. We do jersey concepts every single Friday. Look at new jerseys, team branding, logos, all that fun stuff. So we'd love to have you on board. If you did enjoy this video and you did find it informative or at least enjoyable, hit the like button. And we'll talk to you guys very soon. Tomorrow, actually. Adios.